All right, let's talk about the start made by Shintaro Fujinami. He's going to do this every Saturday, right? So he gets extra off days compared to the rest of the staff. But this was the first time he truly established himself in a start. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, only 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. The 2 homers allowed on 92 pitches.
And he was effectively wild. He didn't have to always be in the strike zone. He could come up and in, as you see right there. And then all of a sudden he makes a mistake right here. But again, the defense was back there to back him up. I thought he threw the ball extremely well. He was competitive. Well, we heard last night the word non-competitive.
Right.
Today he was competitive. And I think today's momentum, he definitely was. He went out there and he kept the team in the game.
Doesn't this, though, in the bigger picture, establish him more, not only on the A's, but also, at this major league level? He had the first 2 starts, which had a couple good innings, and then a negative tipping point. Today, it didn't really have that turning point. Sure, he allowed the homer in his final inning, and the second to last batter he faced with Canna, and he walked Vogelbach for the last batter he faced. But still, there was no bad turn today. It was just a really good outing overall. I think he's got to be pretty content with it.
I think so. I think when you hear him speak, he'll say he had good stuff today. Good fastball, the location. He had his good splitter working, had a good changeup working. So he had a lot of movement on his secondary pitches. I think that's kind of what baffled the Mets hitters today.
Yeah.
They were looking for something that actually they were trying to sit on pitches, but he didn't allow it because he was able to throw each pitch for called strikes.
Let's get to our turning point presented by Toyota. And it's the final couple batters that Fuji would face. And I got to say, what a conflict of interest here. You got Shintaro, who are looking for a great start. And then you got our buddy Mark Canna leaving the yard. He had last night off. Hits the solo shot right there to tie the game at 2.
And you see that was like 93.6. You see that the gun out there at the Coliseum? But he was able to get his hands inside that and just drop the barrel on it.
There's the walk to Vogelbach, which was the last batter Fuji would face. Trevor May came in, got a strikeout, got a pop-up to first base, but then Brandon Nimmo right there, right down the right field line. An RBI double, which turns out to be the winning run of today's game. So for Fuji, 3 runs credited to him, but really he was only in the game for just 2 solo homers that he allowed, and that was it.
Yeah, and that was it. And Nimmo, again, that was a big 2-out hit. Mets are a good fastball hitting team. They will sit on pitches, and when they get it, they will get off some good swings. They just competed. Again, you have to find ways in this league to win games 3-2, 1-0, 2-1, whatever it may be. You have to find ways to win that one-run ball game. And again, it comes down to runners in scoring position. If you hit with runners in scoring position or you get big 2-out hits, you have a tendency to win the game.
Really like this outing for Fuji. It gives you a little bit more confidence seeing where he's been in the first 2 starts versus today. And if you can repeat today's performance by any means down the stretch, I mean, this was really the one that establishes him, I think, in the season. This is what you were hoping for. And again, the other prior 2 starts, in the big picture, they can be looked at in the negative variety, but they had encouraging signs. And today, we just saw more encouraging stuff from him.
And I think so. I think he really built up his confidence out there. He was working really well. He was fluid. He was in rhythm. He was in sync. He was hitting his spots. He was using all of his pitches as again, to throw him for strikes. And when he had to come up out the zone, effectively wild. And then he would make a mistake. I mean, the Mets, again, they are a good hitting team. That's a $250 million payroll on that other side right there. That's a lot of talent.
It's actually $350 to be specific,
Yeah, and I think I think later in the ball game, when he gave up the home run to Alonso, I think he started to say, okay, well, you know what, that was a bad pitch. He came back, he started battling. He gives up the home run to Canna after he had come off the mound with a lot of confidence.
Well, I think when he got that last out in the top of the 6th against Jeff McNeil, and we thought, all right, that might be his day. Remember, it was hit to the right side. He covered first. And you could tell the body language of like, all right, I got out of that jam. Maybe I'm done. He wasn't done, and it was that 7th and final inning that cost him. But again, I still think overall, no matter how it finished, no matter what the team result was, a good outing for him, one that he can definitely build on.